Harriet, tell us about the Underground Railroad. I thought it was an actual railroad.
But it wasn't.
So, why do you call it the Underground Railroad?
Well, baby, the Underground Railroad wasn't just a name. I mean, it ain't nothing you can really see, but the Underground Railroad was all about people. People helping other people. Now, some folks think I started Underground Railroad. No. Underground Railroad been around long before me. Because as long as our people was over here as slaves, folks was trying to run away to their freedom. And there was always folks willing to help them. But I guess after they built the railroad, then folks decided to use some code language there. Talking about Underground Railroad, we talk about passengers. Passengers on the Underground Railroad. Those be the people that coming from slavery on to freedom. And as you wanted to help, your house be called a station on the Underground Railroad, or some folks call it a safe place. And you be the station master. Mm-hmm. And folks that come from north and go back down south to help folks get to the freedom, they's called the conductor. I as a conductor, yeah. I conduct my people, my passengers, safely up north. And I tell you, my train never jumped the track. And I ain't never lost a single passenger. Ain't nobody that ever traveled with Harriet Tubman ever got caught and sent back to that slavery. Everybody can't say that. Now, most of the folks that was conductors was men folks. Ain't too many of them to say they ain't never got caught, or that nobody that was traveling with them ever got sent back to that slavery. So no. Yeah, on the Underground Railroad, I met all kinds of folks. Now, it'd be all kinds of folks that wanted to help. Be free colored folks and white folks, Indian folks too. They want to help because they know that slavery was wrong, and they wanted to do what they could. You know, that's some more love in action right there, babies. I'm telling you. They did what they could to help folks. Now, y'all know, once they passed that fugitive slave law, I could be traveling about 500 miles in one trip. That's right, because we had to go all the way up to Ontario, Canada, because once they passed that law, ain't nobody safe to stay free in this here country. Nobody. So when I get on up to freedom with people, I first stopped in Philadelphia. And there was Mr. William Steele. Now, Mr. Steele was a colored man, and he did us a big service. He sure enough did. Now, when folks got that far, they was free. And then he would help folks find a place to stay. And that's when he write down everybody in his book. And he helped me keep track of how many folks I brought up there. And their new names, because like I told you, folks like to change their name when they got to be free. And he helped us find work. If you had family that came up before you, Mr. Steele probably had their information there, help you find them. And help us find a way to get on to up north, further north, where we stay free in Ontario. That's right. That was a big help. I said Mr. Steele was a big, big help. Now, I leave Maryland and go through Delaware before I get to Pennsylvania. And I tell you, there in Delaware, that's where Mr. Thomas Garrett lived. Now, Mr. Garrett was a good man. He showed enough with Mr. Garrett. He's a Quaker man, and he spent about 30 years of his life helping slaves run away. Mr. Garrett, I heard he about 4,000 folks done gone through his place. Sure enough, I tell you what. The state of Maryland didn't like Mr. Garrett, sure enough, didn't he? One time they put out a reward for Mr. Garrett. They said, Thomas Garrett. He got $10,000 reward for stealing our property, talking about us people. And Mr. Gary, he wrote the state of Maryland back. He said, $10,000 ain't enough. Make it 20,000 and I'll show up in person. Oh, Thomas was a funny guy sometimes, sure enough was. Now, Mr. Gary was always good when I brought my party through there with some new shoes and clothes and food. And a lot of times we get a ride across to the next, onto the other state over in Pennsylvania where we'd be free. We sometimes get a ride over there from Mr. Garrett's house. But one time I needed some money, and the Lord told me now, I always depend on the Lord to let me know send me help when I need it. So he said, Harriet, Mr. Garrett got some money for you. So when I got to Mr. Garrett's house, I said, Mr. Garrett, the Lord told me you got some money for me. He said, Harriet, is really? He said, has your Lord ever told you wrong? And I said, no, sir, he ain't never did me wrong, never did. He said, well, Harriet, how much money did your Lord tell you I had for you? I said, it's about $23. Mr. Garrett looked at me in amazed. He said, Harry, did y'all know that just the other day, I got a letter from a lady over in Scotland. She knows that we's friends, and she wanted to help you out. So she sent me 5 pounds of sterling. And as you make that in our U.S. and our money right over this country, that was $24. I said, that's about right what the Lord told me. That's about right. Oh, no, did.
I can imagine not having any money.
I had good friends. And a lady named Miss Sarah Bradford. She's a good friend of mine. I'm about to lose my house, and she wrote a book about me. Now, I didn't think nobody really wanted to read about me. But y'all know what? Folks actually bought that book. Sure enough did. And she give me the money for my house, to help me save my house. Ain't that special? Tell somebody stories, and she actually wrote a book about me. Scenes in the life of Harriet Tubman. She wrote it twice because I needed more money, and she did it again. Y'all know, folks all around must have read that book because, this here shawl, this is a gift from the Queen of England. She knowed about me and sent me this gift and invited me to her birthday party at the Golden Jubilee. But I was too old to be traveling over there. But that show was nice. Ain't that nice? I thought that was real nice. Show is.